Dementia is the leading cause of death in the United Kingdom, but how does it actually cause death? Obviously, this is a really heavy subject, so please bear that in mind when you're watching this. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, there are lots of different ways that dementia can cause death. We'll run through a few of them today. There's a few things we need to consider first, though. Firstly, dementia is not a disease itself. It's a word we use to describe a group of symptoms that all combine together, affecting someone's ability to live their day-to-day life. There are about 100 different diseases that cause dementia, and they each work very differently. So different parts of the brain are going to be affected. But dementia is progressive, meaning that the longer it goes on, the further through the brain it spreads and the worse someone gets. So the easiest way, I think, of thinking about the brain is as follows. Outside, it's the newest bit of the brain, the most human part of the brain. That's where the human thinky stuff happens, in the cortex. Further in you go, that's the more evolutionarily conserved parts of the brain, things that everything needs to be able to do to survive: move, swallow, breathe. So as dementia starts closing in and spreading through the brain, it can reach areas like the brainstem, which is responsible, for example, for swallowing. When people lose the ability to swallow, what this means is that food can travel down their windpipe and end up in their lungs, and this can cause irritation and infection, pneumonia. So pneumonia is quite a common cause of death in people with dementia. On the same vein with swallowing, it's much less common that someone will die from starvation or dehydration, but there are multiple ways that the brain is failing that could cause this. Firstly, they forget to eat, they forget how to eat. Their brain might completely stop telling them that they are hungry or thirsty. So there's a couple of different ways that can happen. Next up, let's talk about UTIs. As someone with dementia is less able to take care of their own personal hygiene, less able to wash, they're much more likely to develop something like a UTI. This can become increasingly serious. On the same vein, general infections. As you get older, your immune system is much slower to respond and less able to respond to harmful bugs and pathogens. Dementia accelerates this process, so common illnesses will be much more devastating to someone with dementia. Next, movement. Dementia can affect people's ability to move, making them much more likely to have falls, which can be quite severe. Finally, let's talk about underlying health conditions. People are no longer able to take medication that they used to. They're less able to talk to doctors, for example, about how their body is feeling, what might be going on. So if someone has high blood pressure, for example, they're no longer able to manage that in the same way they used to, putting them at much greater risk of heart attacks, for example. I know this was a really heavy video. I apologise for that, but many people have asked me, so I thought I would explain it. Thank you for watching. Bye.